Hey everybody, it is Christine and Brooke. Say hi.
Hello.
We are on our second video. By the way, show them your wedding nails. Isn't that beautiful? You guys, she got married this last weekend. Is that right? Not this weekend, the weekend before.
I've been married a week.
Yes, she's been married a week. So, what we're going to do here, so as we mentioned in our intro, she and I are going to be doing the Cultivate What Matters, which is power sheets. And we are in different seasons of life. So we thought it would be interesting to show how to use goal setting in 2 different seasons of life. And then we're going to use this as our tool. And I'm not going to go too much detail because I did in the intro, but we have used other tools before, but this is kind of our favorite. Mm-hmm. So in this new version, 2025, there is actually a little roadmap. It says a year of progress, not perfection. Power Sheets journey is not about setting goals. It's about living a cultivated life. So one of the things I think we really enjoy about this is it's about creating the life you want to live. It's not just about achieving things, if that makes sense. So the first thing on our little roadmap here is write your name on page 1, which I have done, and I think you have as well.
I have, yeah.
So let's go ahead and put our stickers. We got these fun little stickers, and we get to put a gold sticker on our roadmap. How fun, right? Okay. So what we've decided to do is like I said, we're going to break this up into 6 videos, this prep work type stuff. And so we're going to start, the first thing we have to do, this is actually not related to this per se. The first thing we have to do is brainstorm our year ahead. So what I'm going to do is, let me just kind of tell you what it is. And then what I'm going to do is stop the camera, put on fast forward while we kind of work through it. And then we'll come back on and we'll kind of go through what we wrote down. And then the next things we'll do is come alive again, which is what are you passionate about and what fires you up, and learn from the past. And again, I think some of this we're going to do like on fast forward, and then we'll come back and revisit the topic or whatever, and we'll stop there because the next thing is this evaluation, and I think that deserves its own video. So let me stop the camera and I'll put on time lapse, and we'll come back on in a second. Okay, you guys. So what we think we're going to do is like, I'll read 5 brainstormed ideas. She'll read, and she'll read 5, and we'll kind of talk about like what we were thinking. Our thoughts behind this was, again, if you've never done goal setting, or maybe if you have, I enjoy watching other people's goal setting because it's kind of sometimes spurs like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to do that too. So that's kind of our thinking on this one. So I'll go ahead and read like my first 5. And then you read your 5, and then we'll kind of just talk about it. So the first thing I want to do is reduce our mortgage balance. We actually had our house paid for until we sold it and moved here to the land. And so because, of course, it's land and it's, a little more money, we have a little mortgage balance now. And we do want to have our mortgage paid off by the time we retire. So we want to reduce our mortgage balance. I do want to go on some trips with my husband especially, maybe the kids, obviously, but maybe once a quarter is what I'm thinking. I need to get outdoors and enjoy our land more. Like we have almost, 9 acres, and I don't think I've been to the back of the property but once. I do want to modernize the house, and I want to get healthier. I want to address those kind of over 50 issues. And I kind of added to that like regular dentist and like well doctor visits. I have, again, I'm over 50, so, hormones, blah, blah, blah. And I just want to kind of get healthier in that with addressing those types of issues. So why don't you do your 5?
Okay. So I said save $30K for a home because we're looking to buy a home in about 3 to 5 years. Save 6 months worth of emergency funds. Our money guy said that was a really good goal. Travel 3 times a year. Clean out our closet or room. If you guys didn't know, we moved in with them, so we went from a 1,000 square foot apartment, maybe a little bit more, to just a single room. And then cultivating relationships with my new husband. So date nights, check-ins, quarterly meetings. I saw that on Instagram. And then for our registry, we actually got a couple of date night books And so I wanted to finish those. And I want to talk about the process of how I got here. So I used this last year a lot. I do like it. It's called the Quick Start Guide. So it gives you a little bit of ideas. So I kind of start there. I will say the only downside, now this is for me personally, I don't think it's specific enough. That was my big thing I learned last year is my goals are very vague, and maybe that was my own fault, but it was like, cultivate my faith. Well, what does that mean? You know, so like really getting more specific this year on, you know, what does that look like? I believe, what do you call them? SMART goals. It's like specific, measurable, what is it?
It's attainable. I think a real.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But like,
that being said, I will say that Cultivate has a very, very similar approach that I think we'll get into, which is called Bloom.
Yes.
So it's essentially the same type of strategy, but it's more like.
So it's probably my own
specific.
doing. So this time I'm taking the approach of like, let's be more specific. Let's knock this out, kind of thing. So that's where I got mine. Of course, some of them are yearly, some of them are daily habits, some of them, the big thing I wrote, and I always tell people this when they're doing their goals, is think about who you want to become, and kind of stem from there. Think about your dream person or dream habits, you know, what does that look like? And then stem from that point. So that's where I came from.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do like, you skipped a couple, by the way. I don't know if you did that intentionally.
I did. I just chose random ones.
Oh, well, okay. So you took a different approach there. That's
did.
interesting. Okay, I'm going to do the next 5.
Read them all.
I thought we were going to read them all.
We don't have to read them all. Why do we have to read them all?
I guess we're not going to read them all. So, guys, I guess the point is we've now done this brainstorming, and of course, you know, you can screenshot it or whatever you just want to see. I have to say I also kind of did a lot of stuff as it relates to like daily Bible, kind of trying to just feel better routines for me. So I have discovered that if I'm not in a routine, I completely go off the rails. Like I need to have a routine. So I've got a couple of things that I've talked about on routines. I also want to just kind of mention we want to go to Greece for our 35-year anniversary, which is in 2 years. So I'm going to start planning and saving for that. And then just, you know, scrapbook retreat, a few other things. So that's kind of what I worked on. So the next pages we're going to do is, it's called Come Alive Again. And basically it says, what do you want to cultivate in the year ahead? What are you passionate about? So, you know, sometimes I think, I know for my personal self, you just kind of get on this hamster wheel and you're just doing the same thing every day and nothing really excites you. And, you know, basically you get up and maybe you go to work, you commute, maybe not. And then you come home and you cook dinner and it's just nothing ever really changes. So the idea behind this page, I think, is it says, whether you need to reignite your spark or find it for the first time, you're in the right place. You know, maybe you are a person with a great passion for life. Maybe it's the first time you ever thought about what makes you come alive. Either way, you want to kind of figure out like what makes you come alive. What are you passionate about? So to live your passion means to live wholeheartedly for something worthwhile, knowing all good pursuits have a cost. Okay, so the point of this one is to say, okay, if you're going to be passionate about something, what might you have to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice for? So you have to kind of think about, what does this mean to you? And again, and if you think about it, most of the time it's time. You know, most of us say, well, I don't have time to go to the gym, or I don't have time to do this, or I don't have time to do that. And truth be told, you probably have time if you give up something else. So the idea behind this is, let's think about, what are you willing to sacrifice for? They've given some ideas here. You know, are you willing to sacrifice for your career? Are you willing to sacrifice for your faith, your family, your health, your legacy, your loved ones? And then you can choose some other things. So I think I don't know if we're supposed to put anything down here. Here at the beginning, let's name what you're passionate about. I don't know. I think we maybe pick something here. Do we need to write ourselves a note?
You can.
I guess you can. You can write yourself a note. So let us think through this just a moment. Well, let's just talk about it. So what are you willing to sacrifice for? I honestly, for me, I'm going to pull a marker out. I'm just going to, you want a marker or you want to use your pen?
I'll do a marker.
All right, here's your markers. I'm going to say family. For sure. I don't know if loved ones, I guess loved ones could be friends as well, but I'm going to just definitely say family. And let me think.
We have different careers.
Interesting.
So.
No, it's okay. I think that's the point, right? Was we have different things. Am I willing to sacrifice for anything else? Here's the really hard part. I want to tell myself my health.
Are you?
But am I? Right? That's a great question. The thing I would caution everybody when they're doing something like this and goal setting and that sort of thing, please Please make sure goals that you set are legitimate goals you want to set versus what you think you should set, if that makes sense. Because some of us say, oh, I want to spend more time, in creative pursuits. Well, then, but that's not, but because maybe you think you're supposed to, when reality is you have no interest in creative pursuits. Maybe maybe you just want to read all the time. That's fine too. So make sure whatever goals you set are legitimately for you and not just because you think you should. I will say that I do think I need to sacrifice for my health today, because I think there's a phrase is if you don't make time to be healthy today, then you'll have to make time to be sick later.
What do you think of your parents?
I mean, yeah. So, I'm going to say my family and my health. And I'm going to start with those two. What is it? Does this fire me up, right? My career, like she mentioned, my career is a little different than hers. I'm kind of at the back end of my career, so I don't know that I need to sacrifice a ton more. I've sacrificed throughout my life, and I'm kind of happy and satisfied in my corporate job. I will tell you my side hustle, I'd like to grow that because I would like to see that as a retirement income that, I don't have to go to work every day, but I can, I've got a little side hustle money coming in if I want it. So I'm going to kind of put like a little small checkbox here. Okay, let's flip it over. So the next thing, name what fires you up. We may have to do on fast forward again. So this one is, what do you love? To uncover your unique passions, those things you're willing to trade time, resources, and energy. So the important stuff here to me is love. And what are you willing to trade for time, resources, and energy? So start with the things you love to do and have in your life and write them here. So I'm going to stop the camera. We'll put it back on fast forward so we can kind of write stuff down, and then we'll come back on and talk about it. Okay, so we have written down what fires us up. I started with markers, and then honestly, I got tired of switching back and forth. So as you can see, though, the first thing I put on here is scrapbooking. If you're on this channel, I'm a scrapbooker. I literally do it almost every single day. I have an entire room. I just love it. I found it 25 plus years ago, and it's just a creative outlet for me. It's therapy, et cetera, et cetera. I've also written a beautiful home. I truly love to decorate. I love the house to smell nice. I like it to be clean and orderly. I love a beautiful home. I mean, literally, I want it to be where if somebody shows up at my house unexpectedly, it's not a big deal. Like, you come on in and everything's awesome. I do like to travel. I will say that I like to travel, I think, in like 5 to 7 day frames. Anything longer than that, I get very homesick. But I do enjoy traveling. I like to go see new things and stuff like that. So I think that's good. Time with family, 100%. I'm even though I like to travel, I'm also a homebody. So bit of a dichotomy there, but I do love time with my family. And then I kind of enjoy like charity, helping others. Like just if somebody calls me and says, hey, I'm confused on how to do XYZ, I love helping people. And so I do enjoy doing that. So I kind of started on this thing here, a strong marriage. I want financial stability, my daughter, inspiring others. I do enjoy that. I just love creativity. I do like the wind and the sun. I sit there and I think about on our back porch, we have like, what are you laughing at?
That's cute.
I do. I like the wind. I mean, we sit on our back porch and we have these wind chimes, and I just think it's so beautiful when the wind chimes are blowing, and it's just, just gorgeous sound, and I have the sun shining on me, and I just love that. I do like entertaining, especially at the holidays. I do like mentoring and helping women, especially. I like when, frankly, it doesn't make me feel like smart or anything like that, but I just like when they ask my advice or whatever, and I feel, like I can give them some good guidance or something. I feel happy about that. And then, interestingly enough, technology. Like, I love, I'm not an IT person, but I like budgeting software and graphic software, YNAB, Canva. I just love kind of learning new even in my day job, they'll usually come to me to do beta testing on any kind of new, software that they're rolling out or whatever. And I just really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. It's just fun for me. I think it's because it's a little bit on the creative side. If you've never used it before, you have to kind of use your brain to, figure stuff out. So that's kind of what I have on my list. Obviously, I may think of something else. And also I'll comment like on this process here. You can come back and revisit these pages and it absolutely is fine, right? So why don't you share some of what fires you up?
I struggled with this. I was just telling her I had to like think about it. I do also say for this process, I use Pinterest a lot and things along those lines because I'll either go back and look at past boards that I've made for the year or something along those lines. So I have being outdoors, time with family and Seth, traveling as well, worship music, farmers markets. I love to read. Of course, I don't know if y'all know this. I like to exercise a lot. Organic foods and high quality supplements. So my best friend is in the same business I am, but she's more successful. So she has a higher income, but she'll have these really cool things in her home that I'm like, man, I'd really love to add that to my regimen, or I'd really love to have that. So that's something I truly love. Cabin in Colorado, Seth and I were just talking about that. Like we'd love to buy one in the future. Baking and cooking. I just talked about Pinterest. And also, like, springboard off of that, I love making vision boards, even for other people. I know it's probably goofy, but just imagining that kind of stuff, taking photos and putting it to what your dreams are. I love the holidays, like October through January, like 5th is my favorite time of year. Jesus, of course, coffee. I love a dirty chai with pumpkin. If you haven't tried it, definitely should. Sauna and wellness. So again, I was kind of talking about exercising and the high quality supplements. That kind of is in the same regime. Date nights, generosity, healthy foods, Bible. I love the Bible. I love learning languages. I was a minor in French. So just getting back into that because I really did enjoy that. And then trying new restaurants. I am a foodie at heart, so that is a big part of it. So
yes. Okay, so that's what fires us up. Now, what we're kind of doing is setting the stage for when you set goals. Again, they should theoretically fit into some of this stuff. Now, obviously, sometimes you have goals because you kind of have to have a goal. Maybe it's, finish school or something. But the idea is you're kind of building this foundation of who you are, who you want to be, what again, fires you up, that sort of thing. Okay, so this is learn from the past. Goal setting is usually about looking forward, but there are rewards waiting for you in the past. And the whole point behind this page is you'll gain wisdom and make better decisions about how to use your time and energy the year ahead. If you look back at where you've been, whether good, hard, or a mixture of both, and use these prompts as you complete the quadrant on page 11. So I'll flip it over in a second. To harvest what you can from the year you just lived. So actually, I had a phrase we used to use at my day job, and we used to say because there's always charts and all these kinds of things. It's like you can't you can't change what you don't measure. So the idea behind it is you look back and you go, okay, what did you're kind of measuring.
The same thing in what we do.
Yeah, you're looking back.
I think actually Seth was like, you can't grow if you don't track it, basically, or you don't know what's happening, whether it's money, weight, business, life. There's not a trackable thing. It's kind of hard to know. And
then it's also kind of interesting, like if you don't look back, it's like sometimes you don't even know what successes you've had because you may forget because you did something last March and it's November. It's like, oh crap, I did do that, didn't I? So okay, so the point is on this one is to look for the last year. Now granted, we're only in October, and I'm gonna say only in October, so let's just we're gonna look back at the last
5-6 of the year.
On the other hand, I don't know why you couldn't do kind of the end of last year to this year. I guess something like that. So I guess basically the 2024. And we're going to look at what worked in the last year, challenges, what didn't work in the last year, lessons, how I learned and grew, and gratitude, who am I grateful for? So I'm going to put it on fast forward while we work through this, and we'll be back on in a second. Okay, so I'm going to let you go first this time. So let's talk about our matrix here.
Okay. This was also hard for me, but I was just thinking about because I was just telling her I actually completed most of my goals last year unintentionally. Maybe it was intentionally, subconsciously, but I don't know. Anyways, so good thing. So I've noticed I work well in groups. So in my business, I'm in a group of other people who do the same thing and just like holding each other accountable. But this one is in a very healthy way. I've been in another one that was not in a healthy way. The leader of it is great, fantastic. So just accountability on that one. Working with Seth, so we were just talking about it, like, my husband and I own a business together. We do the same business. So utilizing each other's strengths has been a big thing, instead of trying to butt heads and like, why aren't you doing this? It's like, okay, I'm good at this, you're good at this. Let's break that down. And then anchored in who I am. I think that's one of the things that the reasons I did complete the goals is because a lot of them were anchored in who I am and who I want to be. So I think, like I said, subconsciously. And then growing with new challenges. I think I just kind of, big thing for me character-wise has just been like, and I put this on here, like, don't sweat the small stuffs, like bobbing and weaving. Of course, I still kind of freak out sometimes, but just really like, okay, what needs to happen next? What do I need to grow? Challenges for me, comfortability. I do feel like maybe my goals were too small this year, because I didn't even need to get in this scene to complete them. So I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't really challenge myself. Not having a routine, very similar to her. I mean, I do exercise every day. I do all that, but like, just like, I used to have an amazing 5 a.m. routine when I was in college, just getting back into that. Slacking my appearance. I mean, she'll tell you I'm just naturally beautiful, but in the sense, I just mean like actually trying, because I mean, I won't wear nice clothes to it sounds terrible. Like, I'll just wear workout clothes to our shop. And I've noticed when I do dress better, the customers subconsciously accept me better. They make comments, like nice comments, never mean comments, but just like also my confidence is so much better. So just really, taking care of my hair, putting maybe a little bit of makeup on, or as she was saying, like facial routine, that kind of stuff. Scrolling, I've gotten really bad about that. I think I do my screen time's like 4 hours or more, and my husband's is like an hour. So, and then beating myself up for not, doing something or hitting a goal. I'm really bad about that. And then the other thing is comparison. And I will tell you, my husband said when he stopped using Instagram and social media, that went away for him. So that's something that I did put in there. Again, I said utilizing Seth and I's strength for our best success, and then the importance of routine and using markers. I think when you do see something every day or every week, you're more likely to hit it. And then gratitude, of course. Seth, my parents, Kelly. I also coach at a gym, so this is somebody that hired me. Our customers, my grandparents, Cassie, Haley, Amanda, Alexis, Courtney, and then of course Jesus. So that's my quad. I'll let you talk now.
Okay. And honestly, there's a couple that I might steal from her, but at the moment, this is what I have. So good things. I said taking a risk and basically moving to Sealy. Not going to lie, I loved the house we were in. I was comfortable. I was happy. But so it felt like a risk to me, but it's been wonderful. I don't regret it at all. So that's been a good thing. Good things for me. What worked was also routines and tracking my progress, as she mentioned, scheduling time for myself or important items. I kind of down here even it kind of ties back into this getting bi-weekly massage. I started doing that after we moved here. There's a lady that does it mobile, and it's been just wonderful because I need it. I do need using my planner works. If I'm not in here, I'll mention it in a second. It doesn't work for me. Giving grace works. People mess up. People are human, and if you're gonna hold grudges or be upset about it, you're not gonna have as good a day. So just giving a little grace, and then also I got my NASM certification for personal trainer, so I thought that was a good thing. Challenges is falling out of my routines and not staying consistent. Failing to keep promises to myself, for example, making doctor's appointments that I tell myself I'm going to do, or go to the gym every day or whatever. Not being in my planner or goal setter means I don't pay attention to them. I end up losing track of them and forgetting I was using, because she made the comment she achieved everything. I achieved, I think, nothing. So at this point, anyway, now granted, I still have a quarter left, so we'll see what I can do. But and being angry, I just find, being angry does not usually work. It just never works. You're never going to get what you want. They don't get what they want. It's just not a good thing. Lessons, how I learned and grew. I didn't have as many, which is kind of sad. I was sitting here thinking, well, if you didn't accomplish anything.
You had 2 and I had 3. That is not that big a deal.
Okay. I learned that I absolutely need consistent tracking to stay on track with my goals, health, etc., financial goals, everything. Like if I'm not tracking it, like she said, like we talked about at the very beginning, like if you don't track it, you don't measure it, you can't change it. And I learned to let go, and especially when I'm thinking about like a home is not a building. Home is a feeling in my mind. It's like, it's people you're with, it's whatever. So I learned to let go of that. And then for my gratitude, of course, my husband, Greg, Brooke and Seth, my parents and my bonus parents, my friend Michelle, scrapbooking community. I do really love my scrapbooking community. I've got some really sweet ladies. They message me, check on me. I've just got a great community. I love that. Our neighbors, and I mean our physical neighbors and our physical community. We have some really great neighbors, or this little elderly couple, and then the ones across the street. I mean, they've just been really lovely. And even the community here. I'm grateful for my sister. Our relationship is a good one, except for there's issues, and I'm not going to get into that, but it's a challenge, but also I'm grateful for her. I am grateful for my friends. I'm not going to list everybody because it just gets a bit crazy, but you know, people that text you and check on you or say hello and hey, let's catch up and that kind of stuff. And then of course I am grateful for Jesus because frankly, all the lessons he's taught us and the salvation that we have, and I just, he should be at the top of the list, but I always kind of like to underline and stuff like that. So that is our quadrant. So that is all the video today. So the next thing is going to be, we'll do it next week. You'll see it next week. We'll evaluate where you are now. This again goes back to our conversation about you can't change what you don't measure. So the concept with Cultivate What Matters is you'll go through. There's actually this little book here that we've got, and we're going to use this.
This is our first year using this.
First year using this. I think they just released this. And so it's how do you evaluate? Because people kind of struggle. Like, what do you give yourself? The idea is on community 1 through 10, you score it, etc. I'm not going to get in the details because we'll show that next week. But we'll do that as a video next week. And hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop any questions you have or comments or whatever. If you're doing Cultivate, that's great. If you do goal setting, feel free to comment. I'd love to see it. So we'll see you next time. Bye.